Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Brew Roots, where we tell the story behind your favorite beer. I'm Matt, and joining me, as always, because I always do the intro, sound guy Ryan and Erica. What's up? Hi. Ryan's in the background because
he doesn't have a mic.
He doesn't have a mic, so we're gonna do this really, really quick. But we took the last week off to get drunk during the 4th of July.
4th. It was pretty great.
Yeah. Ryan was at the fish market. I saw him. Thank you for the mussels and the steamers. They were superb.
You're welcome.
My 80-year-old aunt and 93-year-old grandma loved them. You're a prince. You could date either of them. They're widows. They want it. No, I'm just kidding. That was terrible.
They're looking for it.
But like, I ate way too many Jello shots.
I saw that video. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah,
like,
the video
good
was
on
good.
you and your family.
Well, you know what?
Yeah, some serious Jello shots.
And we're on the TikTok, so find us at Brew Roots on TikTok.
We post some fun things there,
and we post some not fun things because sometimes people only watch it 60 times. And then other times it's like 1,000 times.
Yeah,
so
you never know.
We don't know what the balance is at this point.
Apparently, beer fridge posts are a real hit.
Beer fridge posts are
we'll be doing those again.
Yeah, for sure. But other than that, Ryan, what did you drink? Yell it.
Beer.
I knew it.
I
drank a lot of beer. I did drink Green State Lager, which we were talking about. So that was really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I was up in Vermont, so I had Vermont beer.
Oh, lots of Vermont beer.
What?
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, it's cool. I went to Bend Hill and Harpoon, which you were at recently.
Wow.
Woo! And
You get the blueberry wheat?
I did not. I had their cider. I don't know. I didn't buy the beer. Someone gave it to me. I was like, okay, cool.
Oh, that was really nice of them.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really magical.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty beautiful.
You know what was magical? Our interview this week with the Tap in Haverhill, Massachusetts, which conveniently you'll hear in the podcast, but I'm not allowed to do trivia there anymore. Not for any weird reason. I was just way too good at trivia.
You were amazing at
trivia. They told me it was not fun when my friends went.
So there you go. You won't see Matt there anytime soon for
but you'll
trivia.
see me there for beer.
Exactly.
Yeah, just not for trivia, which is a bummer because I was doing really good for a couple of weeks. But the Tap's really cool. Great food, great beer. And
the brewer knows a ton of history about that area. So if you're like a history geek, go find him and ask him stuff.
And if you're in the know, you might know about like Todd Mott. He worked there before after Portsmouth Brewing and before Tributary. So like really good lineage. Like when you think of the Tap, you might not be like, oh, beer, right? But like the brew system there.
Serious people have gone through there.
Yeah. And they have a cool system, and the history of that building is really, really cool.
Definitely.
And we enjoyed the beer that we had there. We had a pre-prohibition lager.
And great food too.
Yeah.
We didn't have food that time, but I've been there for dinner before a few times, and it's good. It's solid.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to the interview so you guys can enjoy it, and we'll catch you in the outro.
Time.
Follow us on Patreon and all social media to support us so we can get awesome interviews, because we have a couple really cool ones available coming up.
Cool.
So take it away, sound guy Ryan. Cheers.
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 That was Ryan.
Cheers.
So it's very interesting. I'm in a room that probably 11 or 12 years ago, I played drunken bass guitar after learning how to play bass guitar.
Solid.
In like a month and a half. I played guitar. So
you slapped the bass?
I played guitar before, but like it's a different beast. Anyone that says you can play guitar, you can play bass. You can play bass, but just not well.
Cool.
But it didn't matter because it was like a Halloween show. I was dressed up as a skeleton.
Everyone was just drinking and having fun, and no one really cared.
Yeah, it was a cover band, I even think, that we were doing. Yeah. It was terrible. But everyone liked it because of beer, liquor, and fireball shots, I'm sure.
Ooh, probably. Maybe.
That's what happened. So, yeah, I played in this room 12, 11 years ago. So by that description, my 4 friends in my life.
Everyone should know exactly where we are.
Yeah. So where are we?
We're at the Tap in Haverhill.
Right. I like this place.
Yeah. No, me too.
Yeah. It's a cool place. They got great food, great beer. And I was once actually banned. I should have said this. I was banned from trivia because I won 10 weeks in a row. And the person who hosted trivia said,
no more.
It's not fun when you and your group play. So we were those people.
Okay, great.
Which was cool. I haven't come back since.
But no, this place is awesome. It has a great aesthetic. It really has that like mill building feel, which is really cool. They have a great patio. It overlooks the Merrimack River, and it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Picturesque.
Picturesque.
So who are we here with, Erica?
We're with Jason.
Hey, Jason. How are you?
Hello. How's it going?
Yeah, not bad. Thanks for asking. I like it when our guests ask us how we are.
Yeah, we're doing
Nice.
good.
It feels nice.
Yeah.
So we ask all our guests their role at the brewery and their first memory of beer.
Well, I'm head brewer, brewery manager, I guess you'd say. First memory of a beer. 4 years old on
Solid age.
with my dad. Softball. He played softball on a bunch of different teams back in the day, and
Almost was pro.
I wanted to go down and get a soda down the street from the store, and he said, "No, we're in the middle of a softball game. There's water or there's Budweiser." And I said, "Well, I don't want water." And he said, "Well, you want a Budweiser?" And I said, "Yeah." And so, much to the chagrin of his friends on the softball team, he grabbed a cold one out of the cooler and handed it to me, cracked it open, and I took a big gulp
Of
and then
course.
spit it out all over the place. And everyone laughed. And that's my first, I think.
And then you drank water after, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gladly took the water after.
Yeah.
So, but that's my first memory.
So at that point, you were sold. You wanted to be in the industry.
Yes.
Yep.
No.
So what was the original plan?
I didn't really have a plan.
Okay.
You know, I was working at a retail store in New Hampshire on the border. So we sold a lot of beer and cigarettes and such. And we had a crazy beer selection that just grew over the years.
Nice.
And I was going to UNH, where I really fell in love with beer.
Yeah.
And because I worked at the store, I had my access to whatever that New Hampshire got that was new
Yeah.
in the
that's
craft
cool.
beer world. So, I started out with Newcastle, Sam Adams, and you grow from there. You try all the different stuff.
Definitely.
So that was like 20 years ago, though. So.
And so at that point, did you start home brewing, or how did you then go
I
into beer?
really fell in love with beer. Obviously we drank a lot of Bud Light, Coors Light,
Of course.
all that stuff.
It's cheap.
We played a lot of Beirut, a lot of drinking games and stuff, but we also got into IPAs and English beers and lambics and
Nice.
And my best friend bought me a homebrew kit because I wouldn't shut up about it for Christmas in 2005 or 2006.
Cool.
So I got into homebrewing pretty quickly.
Yep.
And I've actually been coming here to the Tap since they opened as a brew pub in 2003. So this was like my local.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I got to know a lot of the people here over the years. So I homebrewed for a number of years, and then former head brewer here and assistant brewer. I didn't know them super well, but I started volunteering for them
Okay.
in 2013. And within a month, the head brewer, John Curtis, said, "I got to start paying you because you're working so damn hard and you're doing awesome. So I really need to start paying you money."
Yep.
Yeah. So that's how it started here.
Nice.
And I've been here almost 8 years, and I've been head brewer for just over 2.
Wow.
Awesome. Well, congrats on the 2 years.
That's awesome. That is,
Yeah.
I think that's the first time we've heard of someone who was a patron of the brewery that they work at to head brewer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a regular here for years, I knew the GM. I knew a lot of the bartenders, a lot of the people who worked here. So,
Very cool.
Now, what's the history on the Tap? I'm just curious.
so the Tap itself has been the anchor restaurant downtown in here
Yeah,
in
it's-
Haverhill. It's been called the Tap since 1933.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's been here a long time.
A long time. And even before that, the beer I'm drinking is a beer I made. It's a pre-prohibition lager. It's called J.M. Hickey. It's after James Hickey, who opened a bar and restaurant in the space we're in 1897.
Holy cow.
Wow.
And it was called the Shoe and Leather Exchange.
Okay.
Haverhill was a big shoe manufacturing
Yep.
city. So it's been a bar and restaurant since 1897. And then someone changed it to the Tap in 33. It's been called the Tap ever since. Our owner, John, bought the building next door in the early 90s
Yeah.
and then had an opportunity to buy the Tap and the building in right around 2000.
Okay.
And he said, I want to make a brew pub.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2003, March, I believe, of 2003 is when the Tap opened
Yeah.
It's nice.
as a brew pub.
So you guys are one of the older brew pubs in the state. I mean,
Yes.
I can't think of many brew pubs that have been around that are still
Not
in
too many.
existence.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
we're-
it's
Like you, Beer Works, and like maybe a couple.
A lot of the other ones have gone.
Yeah.
You know, they're unfortunately.
Brew Moon, all those places, those are gone.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You know, Watch City.
Yep.
Right.
Fortunate, but it happens.
Yeah. Well, kudos to you guys for sticking around. What do you think has helped you guys stay here for so long?
Well, like I said, the Tap is like the anchor restaurant downtown. We always
Yeah.
have been. So people know that. People associate the name.
They trust
Yep.
it.
Even people that used to come here in the 70s, we still have people come in and go, oh, wow, look at it. It's the same, but it's changed.
I used to eat here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. And we have the largest outdoor space
Yeah, you have a
for
great
dining.
patio.
We've had that for years. The deck on the back of the building is a perfect spot, overlooks the Merrimack. So
Yep.
Yeah.
you know, good food, good beer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
like old school like mill building ambiance, like you were saying.
yeah.
So
So when you were drinking here in 2003, the beer wasn't really the mainstay, right? It was more of a bar, right?
yeah, so the Tap had been closed for a couple of years, and so when they reopened as a brew pub, no one knew what a brew pub was around here, and they kind of had to educate everybody. And they were kind of bummed out because the Tap previous to that had a massive food menu, and they would do
Gotcha.
massive portions of food, and they, you know, had changed the menu and stuff when we opened as a brew pub. So people were kind of discouraged at first, but luckily we had some cool brewers to start with. I mean, Todd Mott was number one.
Yeah.
He was
Oh,
the
he
first
worked
brewer
here? Oh,
here.
that's awesome.
He was the first brewer here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then shortly after him, it was Dan Paquette, who did Pretty Things.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. I'm like,
You know, and now he's in England.
very cool.
Yeah, so we've had a string of really good brewers here, and it's kind of cool. We've run the gamut of beer styles and stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we're not afraid to try anything out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm having a Schwarzbier right now, which isn't necessarily super common. So it's really cool. And you guys are having pre-prohibition lagers, which is also an even less common beer style, I think. So, yeah, you have a great menu for beers right now. Yeah.
Thank you.
2003, obviously the beer scene, you had your I hate to say macro, you had your Budweiser, Coors, and then you had Sam Adams, your Newcastles in that time. But, you know, Dogfish Head, I don't even think was, if they were in existence, it was very early into their career. But I mean, like,
Yeah, I don't think you could get it up here yet. They were definitely
Yeah.
down in Delaware,
Delaware,
and
yeah.
Maryland, but
this area is very, you know, blue collar.
Yes.
If you go down, is this Washington Street?
Yep.
Yeah. If you go down Washington Street, I think you see more parking spaces, but after that, it's like Budweiser, Coors Light signs.
Right.
How does a brew pub exist in Washington Street?
Well, luckily, the same thing happened across America. People started finding out there's a different kind of beer out there than just the mass-produced light lager. We, I think, educated a lot of the blue-collar people around here at first, you know? But a lot of the other restaurants that are here nowadays, they have pretty good beer selections, too. So you are still going to find Bud Miller Coors, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never going away.
So what are the beers that you were drinking in 2003 and throughout your, you know, kind of career here, and how has it kind of evolved?
2003. So when I first started coming here, I drank a lot of Whittier White, which is a Belgian white.
Nice. Really easy drinking.
And I believe is a Todd Mott recipe. And then it evolved. I started getting into anything Belgian And then, as you get into like the 2007, 2008 with the crazy, let's just bitter the hell out of any IPA.
Right.
Our flagship here back then was Leather Lips
Oh, jeez.
IPA. I don't know if you've ever had it.
I have not, but I can imagine.
Just with the name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's associated because Haverhill's the shoe city or whatever, and I still make it once a year. So
Nice. It's a massive hop bomb, I assume.
it is, and
Yeah.
that's a Dan Paquette beer. And so he probably created that about 04. Yeah, because he was here 04, 05.
Cool.
So it's evolved, I really like English styles, so anything stout, porter, bitters.
Yeah.
But I've evolved too, like nowadays I drink a lot of New England IPAs.
Oh, really?
It depends on my mood though.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm kind of
seasonality. And
I'm kind of getting out of that. I want to drink more lagers now.
Yeah. We've noticed that.
Give me a crisp Pilsner any day.
Yeah.
Same.
So, but yeah, it is a wild ride to think. I've been coming here since 2003, and then 10 years later, I started working here, and
Now you brew the beer.
I know.
So cool.
All right. So before we get into what's on tap today, we have a word from our sponsors.
Take it away, Ryan. Did you know that your favorite Massachusetts breweries use hops from a local family-owned hop farm right here in Massachusetts?
Our friends over at 4 Star Farms are there for you whether you're a commercial brewery or a small batch home brewer.
Make sure to head over to their website today and get your hands on some of the best and freshest hops available locally. Cheers.
At our local homebrew shop, Beer and Wine Hobby, you can get everything you need to make beer, wine, cider, cheese, and more. Not sure where to start? They have knowledgeable staff there to help. Beer and Wine Hobby is family-owned and located in Danvers, Massachusetts. Visit their website, beer-wine.com, and use our promo code BREWROOTS for 10% off your online order today.
Shirts on Tap is the box subscription service for craft beer lovers. Each month, Shirts on Tap partners up with 7 different breweries from across the country and collaborates on a sweet custom shirt design. We've been teamed up with Shirts on Tap since the inception of the podcast and are proud to announce a new promo code for all of our listeners. To get your first shirt for $5 off, go to the link in our description below and use the promo code. And remember, drink better beer, wear better shirts.
We're back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here. So, Jason, we talked about kind of the beers of the past. We talked about Leather Lips, right?
Yeah.
It's you look at it on the outside, the name's hilarious, right? But then when you think about it, the shoes, leather shoes.
You literally need Leather Lips to drink it because it's bitter.
Yeah.
A lot of Centennial,
Yeah.
Nice.
But
Chinook in there.
I've heard a lot of Whittier. You said the Whittier Wit.
Whittier White.
Whittier White, sorry.
Yeah.
A lot of local influence in the names of the beers here.
Yes.
What are you brewing on tap? Or what's on tap at the tap right now?
Well, we just got Solar Plexus back on, which is like our flagship nowadays. We've been brewing it since 2016. It's a double IPA, but it's juicy, tropical.
Nice.
9% though. So
Yeah.
we just got our summer beer on draft. It's called Deck Juice.
Deck Juice.
Yes.
Tell us more about Deck Juice.
Yes.
It's a mango passion fruit wheat lager.
Ooh.
What?
So everyone
Sounds
makes
amazing.
wheat ales.
Yep.
Right.
We have the capability. I made it a lager instead.
Nice.
It's 4.6%.
Perfect.
It's
Yeah, that
fruity.
is perfect.
It's crisp. It's very easy to drink on a sunny day, sitting out on the deck,
I was going to say,
overlooking the river here. So
true to name. Love it.
we just actually had a can run last week, our first can run in quite a while. because of the pandemic and stuff. So we canned Solar Plexus, we canned the Deck Juice, and our New England IPA called The Valley, which is
Valley?
after the Merrimack Valley.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice. So do you you've also been doing, I think, why am I thinking? I'm only thinking
Seltzers?
growlers.
Oh,
No.
Crowlers?
Crowlers.
Yeah.
Yeah. You also do crowlers, is that right?
Yeah, we used to do growlers back in the day. We did growlers for years.
Yeah.
But
I
then
even have an old tap growler
do
from
you?
years ago. Yeah.
I have all 3 iterations. Yeah.
Nice.
But we switched to growlers a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah. And you're canning, do you have your own canning line, or do you have like Ironheart or something?
Yeah,
come in?
Ironheart comes
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
Cool. How long have you guys been doing that? Was it the COVID thing, or?
Since the end of 2016, we've been canning with that.
Oh, for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but we haven't canned in over a year.
Yeah.
Holy cow! Really?
Yeah, because of the pandemic. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but
Yeah. Been hard to get the amount you need to can.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So, when you're brewing a beer here, what is inspiring you to brew? Is it food wise? Because you have a kitchen here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Are you communicating kind of with the kitchen to say like, oh, we're brewing a
Such and
stout,
such.
and could you make things to coordinate with that?
I do talk to our head chef just to see where his menu's going to be. We try to go seasonally.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have some lighter offerings now because of it's June.
Yeah.
Right.
It's June now.
Summer's
so,
coming.
Like I said, we have the Deck Juice on. I have a strawberry blonde on that's flying out of here. So, and that's a brand new recipe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, in the wintertime, we do tend to have some darker offerings, stouts and porters
Yeah.
and stuff. But we have a Schwarzbier on right now.
Yeah.
which is
exactly,
awesome.
because
Yeah.
why not?
We have Berliner Weiss right now. I have a barrel-aged French Saison.
Ooh,
So,
Wow.
that's cool.
yeah, that's a funky one. That's a little different.
Yeah, is that on tap right now? Or is
Yeah,
that coming-
so
okay.
that's a French Saison that was aged in gin barrels for 2 years.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
And it was dosed with Britannomyces
Yep.
and also some local honey.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Something
That's got to be really funky and
It's
different.
got a little funk to it, just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's still very light and easy to drink. So
Awesome. I love like
It's cool. It's got some
experimental things like
nuances,
that.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's really cool.
What system are you guys brewing on here?
So we have a 10 barrel.
Okay.
It's a 2-vessel brew house. We don't have a lot of space.
Yeah.
These old mill buildings were never meant to be breweries.
Really?
So if you ever been here, the brew house is right next to the main bar.
Mm-hmm.
It's encased, and when you're brewing in there, it's very, very hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you're in a
Especially in the
fishbowl.
summer, and it's fishbowl,
Yeah.
But it's a 2-vessel, American-made, Germanic style, though. So we can do
Oh, interesting.
decoction.
Oh,
you
that's
can.
really cool.
We can do decoctions here. So I'll
Have
be
you-
making our Munich Helles lager sometime in the near future. It's called Haverhill Gold.
And you're decocting with that?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
That's awesome. That's cool that you have like that capability to do something different like that.
yeah, yeah. So that's the system that's been here since day one.
Yeah.
There's a tank room on this side that if you go down to the lower level, you can see through the windows and you can see there's 5 10-barrel fermenters
Cool.
and 5 10-barrel bright tanks, which are serving vessels.
Yep.
But then in the building next door, we also have 8 20-barrel fermenters,
Oh, wow. Nice.
2 20-barrel brights, and 2 10-barrel brights.
That's awesome.
So your brew days are pretty long here.
I mean, it depends. It depends on what you're brewing.
Yeah.
6 to 8 hours.
Not terrible.
Not
Yeah.
Could be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I wonder, like, what has it been like? Like you're saying, you start as a patron, then all of a sudden you're just like helping out, and then now you're the head brewer. What was it like when like your first beer that you made was on tap?
It felt very, very gratifying.
Yeah.
It was very exciting. It still is exciting.
Yeah.
Like the strawberry blonde.
And in fact, that's flying out of here. Like that's.
I've made some
cool.
blonde ales before, so I have a basic recipe for a blonde ale. I tweaked it a little bit, and then I just dosed it with strawberry puree. And it's fairly straightforward, simple recipe.
Yeah.
But people are loving it right now. It's the perfect time of year, so it's good. It's when you get just a random recipe that I just sort of, I don't want to say threw together, but
Right. But like you're saying, a couple tweaks here. And
But that's all it takes.
Yeah,
It's kind of
yeah.
like lightning in a bottle, if you will.
yeah, and then I don't know, a couple years ago, probably three or 4 years ago, I had been working on this recipe. I wasn't head brewer at the time. I was assistant brewer, but I'd been working on this recipe, and I brought it to our former head brewer, Brad, and he was like, "Oh yeah, cool. Let's brew that next week." And it's an American style dark lager.
Okay.
It's very similar to like a Munich Dunkel. And I remember when we brewed it and we got it on draft, and we were just, wow, this beer is delicious, And we didn't know how it would sell.
Yeah.
You never know. But it's people look for it. They ask about it.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's called Skydog.
Skydock.
Yeah. I'm a big Allman Brothers fan. So
Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Let's talk about that feeling. I mean, you get the highs of the highs, and then you kind of get the lows of the lows, right? Has there been a beer that you've made and you're like, this is going to be the best beer in the world, and it's just like not done?
Wah,
Well, you
wah.
can't. Yeah, you can't just be like, "Oh, this is going to be the greatest."
Yeah.
There have been beers where I'm like, "Oh, I love this beer," but English styles tend to not sell
Yeah.
here in Haverhill, which is a bummer because
'Cause you're
I
such a big fan.
really like bitters and such.
Yeah.
It's a bummer. It's funny. We actually have a Scotch ale on right now. We have an 80 shilling on draft, and it's doing pretty well.
I was tempted to get that.
It's better than I
Yeah.
thought it would.
Nice.
For selling, so that's good. Yeah.
Cool.
We kind of gone over some of the beers that our listeners who typically go to the tap don't know about, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the food though. Here, you guys also serve food here as well with the beer, kind of pub style, but you're here every day. So tell us what's going on.
Yeah, it's mostly pub style. We're known for our burgers for sure.
Great burgers.
They have really good burgers. Yeah.
But the summertime, I mean, we have a massive lobster roll right now, fresh lobster. So any of you people that want some seafood, and we do individual flatbreads, hearty salads. We have all sorts of different sides. Like I said, it's pub.
Something for everyone, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a barbecue smoker, so we do in-house pulled pork.
Nice.
We have the turkey sandwich that's on the club turkey sandwich that's smoked turkey.
Yum.
We have a roast beef three-way that's smoked roast beef. So
I see Ryan's
That's cool.
eyes just open with the smoked roast beef. We talk about roast beef
Sounds
like
like-
weekly.
Yeah. Sounds like a great spot just to come by for like a bite or like a lunch spot or like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beer and a beer and a bite.
Yeah.
yeah, we get a good lunch crowd, especially since the weather has changed here. It's been really, really nice.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys are in a unique scenario where you guys can also sell alcohol,
Right.
right? It's a liquor.
Brew pub license allows it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you do beer cocktails here?
Occasionally. Yeah.
What's your
occasion-
opinion on beer? I love beer cocktails, but it's all right if you don't.
I've had a few that I like.
Yep.
Most I don't.
Fair.
I'd rather just have a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
I'd rather just have.
a cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. And also you serve wine as well.
Oh,
beer,
yeah.
wine.
Yeah. We have a full liquor license. Yep.
Seltzer, hard seltzer. Are you guys making a hard seltzer?
So we are not.
Yep.
Here in Massachusetts, if you have a brew pub license, anything you make alcohol-wise, 51% has to be from malted barley.
Okay. I didn't realize it was a 51%. I thought it was just like has to have malt in it.
51% malted grains.
Oh,
So we
okay.
could make a sorta seltzer,
But it wouldn't be one. Yeah.
but it wouldn't be a seltzer. Personally, I don't get the seltzer game. It's cool
Fair.
if people want to drink them. I don't have a problem with it. We don't sell them here.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Easy enough. Yeah. I mean, you sell everything else. I mean, I
We
feel like
have-
it's really good for breweries that only sell beer, right? But you do everything else. So
we have wine. We have full liquor license. We sell Celia by Ipswich Brewing Company, which
Yep.
is the gluten-free.
Yep.
oh, right.
We
yeah.
have 4 or 5 different cider options in cans, so someone can find something they like.
Yeah.
So there's
definitely.
a beverage for somebody here.
Yeah,
sure.
They also have water.
it's true. And soda,
Yeah, and soda.
Yeah.
lemonade.
Yeah. What would you like to see come next for the tap? I mean, what? Actually, you know what? Before we get into what's next for the tap,
There you go.
do we need a word from our sponsors, Ryan?
Yeah.
Ryan thinks we need a word from the sponsors. So take it
Take
away.
it away.
Are you a solo artist, band, podcaster, or anyone else who needs recording services?
Well, we got a place for you where your vision can become a reality.
Welcome to Small Pond Studios, built by hand with heart and sweat equity by musicians for musicians.
Go to smallpondstudios.io to reach out to get more information. And make sure you let them know that Brute sent you. Hey, Sound Guy Ryan here. Didn't know if you heard, but we're a part of the Hopped Up Network. There you'll find other informative podcasts about beer. So go ahead, follow them on social media, and visit them on their website, hoppedupnetwork.com, to learn more about the people, beer, and breweries from around the country. And until next time, thanks for listening. Cheers.
And we're back after a false alarm.
False alarm?
Ryan was like, "Da-da-da-da-da." Yeah, that's the noise he was making. It was
He was
actually-
twitching or something. I don't
He
know.
really
He
was.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No noise, though.
There was
We
a lot
just
of noise.
liked
We
it.
just edited it out.
Yeah.
So Jason, I mean, you mentioned you're in a small confined space while you're brewing, but it's home for you, right? But what's next for the tap? What do you wish would come?
We are getting our cans out to the North Shore, so
Ooh,
we'll be
nice.
distributing again, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's been over a year, so we're hoping to grow the brand, be able to get our some beers on draft here and there throughout the North Shore, and also have cans in package stores and such. So
Nice.
And I think that was something that was missing from the tap. I think a lot of the times people who go to breweries would often not, and this is no offense, would not go to the tap because they didn't think it as a brewery. You're trying to change that vision?
we have our history here, but we also want to move forward. You know, I know like the big model nowadays is to have the small brewery tap room thing, dog friendly sort of
Communal tables. Yeah.
yeah, and that's fine. I've been to many places like that, and I enjoy that. I've always been a brew pub guy. There's something about that pub feeling.
The European style, the English style.
Yeah.
You know, and you enjoy conversation with strangers at the bar. You have a nice, heartwarming meal. Hopefully, a good pint or two or four. There's nothing wrong with tap rooms. There's nothing wrong with the new model, but I'm very sad to see so many brew pubs go away. You know, I know the restaurant business is extremely hard to begin with, let alone what happened in the last year and a half.
Right.
You know, but yeah, we've had our beer out in distribution in mass before, and we want to focus on trying to do that and get it going again here, and then hopefully someday maybe get into New Hampshire because we're right on the border, and there are people that come down from the neighboring towns. You know, I'm a Plastow boy, so this was my local.
Yeah.
It's only 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
So, I'd like to see some more people, enjoy our beers outside of here.
Definitely. I've also really missed the whole pub feel, especially with COVID and everything else. I do love starting a conversation with a total stranger, but kind of connecting over the beer and the food and the atmosphere and having just like conversations with people. It's fun. It's
It is
nice.
fun. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you guys do cask beer here as well?
We used to.
Yeah, you used to.
Okay.
Yeah.
We stopped doing that a few years ago. Unfortunately, it just wasn't selling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough thing.
It's
It's,
a tough
hit or
sell,
miss sometimes in some areas.
So, occasionally we may have a cask here and there, just as like a special thing, but we haven't done one in quite a long time.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a bummer.
Yeah.
I actually remember coming here as a patron and coming here every Thursday because that's when they tap the cask.
Nice.
It's a cool event to see and watch that kind of process.
Yeah. So it was fun, you know, specifically come here every Thursday to try, well, what do they have on cast today? You know, but it's a lot of the younger crowd. They don't want that, or they don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
Especially if they already don't like English beers.
The problem is they look it up. Like, I feel like if you didn't know what a cask beer is and you look it up on Google,
Warm beer.
it's
Warm
cask
and
beer.
flat.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's warm and
More
flat.
flat,
It's not
yeah.
warm and it's not flat.
Yeah.
It's just straight from the tank.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, well.
It's
I know.
tough to find nowadays.
They're lost.
And now
Yeah.
I'm thirsty for a cask. I
I
haven't
know,
had
right?
one in
I'm
a
so
long
sorry.
time.
No, seriously. I was just thinking, I mean, we've been talking about the English style of beer. And I think, you know, if you go to England, we've interviewed an English brewery who has the, I hate to say like American style breweries, you put it very well, like the new style of breweries.
Yeah.
That's that. But they were saying, you know, it's hard for us because there's so many breweries that are brew pubs, you know, that people
Yeah.
go and get their local pint.
It's the exact opposite.
It's
though,
exact
which is
opposite.
funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you feel like the tap is kind of like that European style or the English style?
It has that feel.
Yeah.
For sure. But it was much more so, I think, back in the day, because I think a
Yeah.
lot of the beers back then tended to be
English style.
English or Belgian or,
Yep.
you know. So we run the gamut nowadays. You know, I haven't made a milkshake IPA yet. I did write a recipe for one. So maybe we'll
Maybe.
see that this summer.
Don't do it. I'm so
Just
against
try it.
it.
Just try it and see what happens.
I personally do not really like them at all.
Me neither.
You gotta find you gotta do it right. Don't do it the hype way. Do it your way.
I personally don't like it when breweries add lactose to their beer and don't tell people. either.
well,
yeah.
right.
Oh, it specifically says on our menu, like, you know.
Contains lactose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There are some breweries that don't. Don't be those people. Yeah. So I'm pretty good with questions. I just really want to know, like, you mentioned what are you drinking at home?
Anything.
Cool.
Ketchup.
I think I got a mixed pack of Harpoon recently, so there's probably a couple of
Cool,
those still
cool.
left. Little Sip from
Lawson.
Sean Lawson. So
Yep.
my buddy Brian, who was my former boss here, head brewer at Sawbelly Brewing in Exeter.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I
Yeah.
think I have a couple of his beers in there.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Nice. Solid.
When you're you mentioned a couple times writing a recipe, right? What goes into writing a recipe for you?
Sometimes I just have an idea for something.
And is that where do you derive that idea? Is that something like I've read books of musicians who like keep a book by their bed. They wake up, they're like, I heard the song of my dreams, or I had this pasta meal, it was amazing. I want to,
Yeah, it just randomly, or I think, man, we haven't had a Scottish beer on draft here at the tap for years and years and years. So guess what? I'm going to make one.
Yeah.
Hopefully it sells.
right.
I listened to your podcast with, I think it's Greg at Berkshire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he couldn't sell a Scotch ale for the life of him
Yeah.
to save his life, So
Yep.
I feel his pain.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sometimes it just pops in my head.
Yep.
Sometimes I'm like, we haven't had that style here
Yeah.
in a very long time. Or I even have looked back in the files.
Yeah, I was going to ask about, do you have like a Rolodex of recipes?
Yeah, we do. We don't have all of them. I like to pull back some of the old things that haven't been done in a really long time. Last year, I brewed Dan Paquette, who was our second head brewer here, made a beer here that was a Belgian triple. It was
Yeah.
called Golden Slipper.
Oh, fun.
And I remember drinking it and enjoying it. And so I was lucky enough to find the recipe in the files.
Wow.
After doing
See,
some
now that's really
snooping.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and it was really good. It's 10% though. It's dangerous.
Now
I love that you guys have like
that Rolodex.
like the history of like
Like I said,
beers
we
that have
don't-
been brewed.
you don't
Not
have- we don't
all
have
of them.
all of them,
Of
but-
course not. But like the ones that you do have, I just think that's awesome that you're able to kind of go
you're
back.
drinking our Schwarzbier, Annie's lager. That's John Curtis. That won the silver medal for Schwarzbier at the GABF in 2010.
Nice.
And it hasn't been brewed in almost 10 years.
Oh jeez.
It hasn't been.
And
brewed
I
since,
remember
It's
drinking that
great.
beer a lot
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I brought that one back.
Do you think that? I mean, it just makes sense, like why you would be in this role. I mean, you were here as a patron, right? And you were like, I remember this beer. I remember this beer.
Yeah.
This one wasn't really that great. Or this one.
It's cool because you also have that history of like remembering I've had this beer, it tasted like this, and now I'm gonna brew it.
Yeah.
You know, that's cool.
Yeah, and then come up with new stuff.
Yeah,
Right now in the
right.
fermenters, I have a wheat pale ale with
Nice.
Citra and Amarillo. I brewed a new IPA. That's Simcoe and Amarillo. Mm-hmm. What else do we have? Just trying to
So
think.
many.
This, my mind is racing.
Yes.
But yeah, like I said, I'm going to bring Leather Lips back at some point
Yeah.
this year. We used to brew a rye pale ale called Sassy Rabbit.
I like a good rye pale.
That hasn't been brewed in years, so
Good.
I'd like to make that.
Yeah.
Now, are these suggestions patron?
Some of them,
yeah. Like,
yeah,
are you
sometimes,
like, I want
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I the bartenders usually, hey, I keep getting people asking about this or that, or
Nice.
and I go, ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna brew that, or I go, oh yeah, I want to brew that again. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
So, who do you make all the decisions on what beer are brewed, or?
luckily, yes.
Yeah.
That is nice.
That's nice.
It is nice.
Who's part of your team right now? Are you the only brewer, or?
No, I have a assistant brewer, Patrick. And it's just the two of us right now.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Killing
we're
it. You're small, like
a brew pub.
yeah.
Small brew pub, small production brewery.
Love it.
So
Talk about some of the recipes Patrick's brought to the table. Are you trying to coach
Yeah,
him on brewery development?
he has a gruit.
Oh, get out! Really?
Ooh,
That
fun.
he's a
Fun.
home brewer.
Okay.
And he's worked on this recipe for a very long time.
Nice.
And I tried it, and I think we're gonna make it this fall.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, something different. It's got cranberries and it's green tea or something, some specific kind of tea.
Kind of a
he
cool
puts
fall thing.
in. Yeah,
Yeah. I like the
awesome.
idea.
something different.
Yeah.
I want to. I'm encouraging him to try to come up with some recipes and stuff. I think he's a little scared.
It is a scary process, I think. If
Yeah.
I had to come up with a recipe, I'd be like, what?
The Tap to me is a true. I hate to say towny bar, right? But it's a true kind of like local institution
Yeah.
where you see your regulars. Obviously, with COVID being what it was, and we're not going to get too much into like what COVID was, but I mean, have you seen those locals? If you've ever watched the Cheers show, I picture the Tap being like Cheers,
Right.
Almost to a certain
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have our regulars. I was one of them.
Yeah.
Of course. And they've come and gone over the years because people sometimes move away or unfortunately pass away. But we do have a good influx of just people. Hey, I heard about you guys. I live in Groveland. I haven't been here, or I live in Methuen. I haven't got a chance to come up, or I've been here before 10 years ago. We even have people come up from Boston. They come up on the train because the train station's
Right across the way.
literally right across the street.
Nice.
So you can take the commuter rail right here. It's where the last stop here in Haverhill. So yeah, we do kind of have that Cheers vibe. But we do have if you come here on a Friday night, late night, it's the younger, crazier crowd.
I've been here on those nights.
It gets a
It's
little
fun.
wild.
It's a little, it's yeah.
But it's fun. It is fun.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're hoping to start up Jazz Sundays again. We have live jazz
Love it.
on Sunday nights.
Yep.
I don't know exactly when we're going to start that, so don't quote me.
Stay tuned for more.
It's a great. I have been here on a jazz night on a Sunday, and it's just like a great date night. It's like, you got a jazz mag, some great food, great beer.
Yeah.
It's just a solid night.
The older I get, the better Sunday night going out is.
Right?
Better. It's like, oh yeah, Sunday night I can be in by 7.
Yeah, and you relax, you have dinner, you have some drinks.
Right,
but you
right.
don't, it's not like
You don't get
Saturday
fucked up
night.
anymore. Yeah. So for people who have not been to the Tap, I want you to tell us what's the best thing to get on the menu and what's your best food pairing and beer.
Ooh, food pairing. Any beer goes with any of the food.
Perfect.
It's
I know it's seasonal, but you said the burgers, so like
yeah. So literally, the burgers are probably like our go-to here. I mean, I hate to say that because it's just a burger, but they're really, really good and they're really, really big.
Nice.
And there's a whole bunch of different combination ones, and
Awesome.
I forget what we call it. They're gonna kill me. But, we have one right now that's bringing the heat.
Ooh.
It's got jalapenos and it's got sriracha, I think, and it has ghost pepper cheese, and yeah,
Sounds
Sign me up.
amazing.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
it's very spicy.
Yeah.
But I'm not one of those guys that this beer has to be paired specifically with this. Pick the beer you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Personally, you look at the menu and go, I want this beer. Well, and then I want this food. Well, I'm going to eat the food. I'm going to drink the beer.
The perfect pairing.
I'm
right
kind of
yeah. You're winning.
easygoing.
Just be happy, just
So
Drink any
we've
what you
done some
want.
beer dinners here before where we've really gotten into it.
Yeah.
We haven't done a beer dinner.
I don't think anyone's done a beer dinner.
Yeah,
so don't
right.
worry. You're not
October, we did Oktoberfest beer dinner
oh, cool.
2019.
Whoa.
So yeah, hopefully we'll
That's
do
all
something
right.
got like that again.
Exactly.
I think so. I think
We've had pig roast here too, which was fun.
yeah.
Big roast.
This place is great. I love it here. It's a fun place. I've played music here. I've drank here. I've gotten kicked out of trivia.
Yeah, you have pool tables
You have pool
downstairs
tables,
too.
yeah.
So
Yep. We have the main bar, and we have downstairs bar with pool tables. That's good on Friday, Saturday nights.
Yeah.
For sure.
Sound guy Ryan, you want to ask your $1 million question?
Sure. What do you want to learn more about?
Brewing, of course. I'll admit right now, I'm head brewer of a brew pub. I've been here almost 8 years. I do know how to make beer. I can constantly try to make it better.
Definitely.
I can constantly learn. People are like, "Oh, you're a master brewer." Then I go,
Oh, God,
I'm
no.
not a master of
I
anything."
hate that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I want to get better at my craft and continue with it.
Nice.
That's
so.
awesome.
Any collaboration beers?
Actually, we did do the Smutty Nose, the big Smutty Nose collaboration back in September of 2019.
Yep.
Yeah.
Their 25th anniversary beer, which was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They had a big beer festival up there, and we were part of that.
That's cool.
But I mentioned before my friend Brian Davis, my former boss here. We've been talking about doing collaboration.
Yeah.
Between you and Sawbelly.
Definitely.
Sawbelly, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so
That'd be cool.
I'm always open,
Yeah.
So if anyone out there wants to do a beer in the North Shore here, let me know.
The tap is looking for you.
That's right. Well, we want our listeners to make their way to the Tap.
Yeah.
Where are you physically located?
Yeah, so we're downtown Haverhill, Mass. It's 100 Washington Street. If you've never been to downtown Haverhill, it's all brick Queen Anne style buildings.
Yes.
There was a big fire in February of 1882 that basically wiped out all of downtown.
Oh.
That's why it's all brick now.
And it was immediately built back up. And that's why all these buildings look very similar to each other. They're specific kind of architecture. It's one of the most, it's a coveted Queen Anne.
Look.
Yeah,
Style.
it's part of the National Historic Register,
Oh, that's cool. Fun facts.
Yeah, so there's a big history here in Haverhill that not a lot of people know about. I'm a history buff, so
Okay.
I like to dig into that. That's why I made this pre-pro lager, named it after the guy who started the first bar here.
Yeah, definitely.
It's something that he would have served to his customers back then. Last year, I made a double IPA, and I called it 12 Sons, SONS. after the 12 men that came upriver and founded the city of Haverhill in 1640.
Wow.
Yeah. Not a lot of people think, Haverhill, whatever. It's on the Merrimack, okay? So is Lowell and
But
Lawrence
it's on
and
the
everything.
Merrimack. I think that's your first clue.
Yeah.
It's like a major highway back in those days.
So you literally have the Mayflower in 1620, Plymouth, right? 1630, 10 years later, Governor Winthrop founded the city of Boston, right? So 10 years after that, 1640, some guys came upriver and founded the city of Haverhill.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
from that point on,
history.
it grew, So we had the big, shoe industry here 120, 140 years ago. And then, shoes got mass produced and
Things changed.
Haverhill, sort of sunk down into the low point of the, probably 1970s.
Yep.
And I remember in the 80s when I was a young kid, you didn't really come downtown Haverhill. It wasn't really a place you came to, And then the revitalization starting in the 90s, and it's come a long way. We got a bustling nightlife up here.
Yeah, and great.
You have a great
restaurants.
downtown
Yeah.
too.
We have the walkway on the river, and we have the new high rises going up.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of new restaurants, and they're all great, because we all help each other out.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Definitely come down to downtown Haverhill and come have a beer at the Tap. If you want to eat here, please do. But also visit the other spots. There's plenty of other restaurants and places to go.
It's really cool.
I love it.
Jason, well, thank you for doing
Yeah.
this today.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank
having
you
me.
so much.
Yeah, this was an awesome interview. We don't interview brew pubs because there's not that many of them very often.
Yeah.
You're making me sad again.
No, I know. It's always cool to hear that side of a brewery because you guys, you matter. I mean, like you guys are in the
You're
industry
like the
just
OG
as well.
kinda,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I
18 years now. So
Right.
I do think that brew pubs will be revitalized. I think there's a
feel it.
place in American history for them, and in history tends to repeat themselves. So I wish the Tap all the luck because I think it's cool. It's a really great place. I've personally been here many times.
Definitely.
Erica,
played bass here.
Yeah. If you don't know, I played bass in 2011.
I might even have been at that show.
Yeah.
So
You
Find
never
me
know.
on
You never
MySpace.
know.
Erica, our favorite question.
All right. The question we like to end all of our episodes with: what are you most proud of?
most proud of my two sons.
Aww.
That's what I'm most proud of. But yeah, being a dad. I also have a wonderful stepdaughter too.
That's cute.
Cute. You didn't offer them a beer when they were 4, did you?
No, they tried to take it out of my hands though. For sure. I definitely look forward to having a beer with them when they're older.
Right, right.
I thoroughly enjoyed a beer with my father at Fenway Park when I was like 18 or 19.
That's cute.
That's a great memory for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's when I actually would drink the beer, other than when I was
Right.
4 and spit it out. So, I still drink Budweiser. My father-in-law is a Budweiser man, and I will gladly sit and drink a few buds with him.
Yeah,
Why not?
It's we've heard of brewers and we've heard people say the best beer is the beer in front of you.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, if you work at Budweiser, kudos to you, because the consistency and the quality.
The second
Every
person
day.
they say that.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
sorry, you know,
Yeah.
they're better brewers than I am.
No,
They're
seriously.
So,
outstanding.
The
for
fact
sure.
that you can crack a can open in Tokyo or Canada
Worldwide,
or Alabama
yeah.
and it tastes the same across the board,
Right,
that's really hard to do.
right.
We can't even do that from batch to batch with our stupid homebrew.
It is tough to do with home.
Yeah.
I know that feeling.
Exactly.
So
Awesome. Well,
thank you again, Jason.
Exactly.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
That's been great.
Well, I think we might get some food, some more beer, and we'll catch you on the other side.
sounds good.
Enjoy the outro.
Cheers.
All right, well, if you made it this far, you know that this is Ryan's least favorite portion of the podcast because I usually take 12 takes, but this is the first take, I swear to God. Erica? It was really the first take. So,
Sure.
we have an awesome episode lined up for you next week. We're not going to tell you who it is because you have to
It's
go
a
on.
secret.
No, just go on social media and follow us, and you'll find out because we post our calendar now.
Yeah.
We've decided we're going to
We're
grow
adults.
up and be organized. Yeah, so until next week, cheers.
Cheers.